Thank you very much, Anjali. Hello, everyone. A very good evening. Thank you for joining our session today. I know it's late in the evening, but thank you for showing up. I'm Shruti R, working as a senior technical consultant at Salesforce. I have close to 7 years of experience in Mulesoft. So, starting from Mule 3.9 to Mule 4 now, I have good hands on experience in Mulesoft. I'm also certified in Mulesoft, Salesforce, and Azure. Outside work, I enjoy music, dance, and art. I am also a tech speaker and a blogger. So you can find my MuleSoft related blogs on Medium. Can we go on to the next slide, Anjali? Okay, so moving on, the agenda that we have for today is I would start off by describing the challenge that we have with data silos and then give a brief discussion or explanation of what MuleSoft for Flow integration is, along with a live demo. And last but not the least, we would also be discussing the key use case and the business value that MuleSoft for Flow brings to the table. I would like to take all the questions at the last so that we can complete the entire session that I have for you. And then just note it down or you can put it in the chat box we have here. And I'll pick it up in the end. I'll try to answer as much as I can. Let's keep this interactive. All right. So let me ask you something. Have you ever escalated an issue to another team? So, say for example, from support to engineering, and then you had no idea what happened to it. You're like stuck checking emails, sending Slack messages, manually chasing for updates, all because your system doesn't talk to theirs. I know it's kind of frustrating, right? That feeling of constantly chasing other teams, stuck in a loop of manual or repetitive tasks, is not a great feeling, of course. But this is the daily friction that slows our team's productivity every day. And it's caused by one of the biggest challenge in IT today, which is data silos. What do we mean by data silos? So it is when your data is trapped in one system and inaccessible to the rest of the organization, and teams are forced to make decisions with incomplete information that they have. And we all know that today we are in AI agentic era, and we want to build smart automation and use AI. All of us want to use it, right? But when your data is trapped, your automation is stuck. Automation or AI model can work effectively only when they know the entire process that's in place. And when your data is stuck, you can't make smart decisions and it operates without any governance. So that's when MuleSoft for Flow comes into picture. Can we go to the next slide, please? So we already know that with MuleSoft's API-led integration that we have solves the data silos issue to our IT team. But what about the processes that our business team faces? They are constantly under the same frustration every day. They aren't API developers at all. So that's when you can start using MuleSoft for Flow. It's not just for API developers, but everyone can use MuleSoft for Flow integration, which is a low code platform. And it went GA early this year, sometime in March. And it is designed to specifically help unlock the data silos and empower the automation for everyone. So, what does this mean for us? So some of the key features of MuleSoft for Flow is that first you can connect to popular systems just with clicks. As I said, it is a low code platform. So you don't have to know the entire idea or the coding that goes behind MuleSoft for Flow. You just have to drag and drop the connectors, configure them and set it up. That's it. So it's very easy even for the business team to connect to popular system without writing a lot of code. Second is you can easily configure secure connections. So even the businesses who build these connections or build integration, they are building the integrations that are secure, reliable and compliant. Third, just like how you perform your data weave transformations in the API led integration, right? You can also map and transform data inline within MuleSoft for Flow. And finally, you can automate the tasks based on the external system. We'll see all of this in action. But before that, if we move on to the next slide, let's discuss on one key use case that I would be demoing today, which is Jira and Service Cloud integration. Okay, so let's think about it. Whenever there is a handoff that has to be done between the customer support and engineering team, your support agent lives inside the Salesforce Service Cloud. They are always customer facing and fast moving. But our engineers, we all live inside Jira. So we get Jira tickets assigned and we start working based on the tasks that are assigned to us, right? So if a service agent raises a case on Service Cloud and the same ticket has to be replicated on Jira for the engineer to pick it up. It's a manual copy paste activity that has to be done. But the case ID and the Jira ID are not linked. Case ID is very specific to the service case record, and the Jira ID is specific to Jira. And any updates done on the Jira task or closure of the Jira task does not get updated automatically on the case. In case the engineer who's working on a Jira ticket completes the task and closes the ticket, but the agent who's waiting for the ticket to be closed is not updated in real time. He's still waiting for the ticket to be closed. So let's see how this issue is resolved. Like how can we integrate with MuleSoft for Flow? It's like a very simple click and use format. How do you just plug and use it with MuleSoft for Flow? So Anjali, I'll take over the screen share.
Sure, Shruti. Yeah, you can share.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I'm inside my Salesforce org and I have opened the automation app. So to use MuleSoft for Flow, you need to come inside automation app. And this automation app is not freely available at the moment, but it comes as part of the subscription package that we take for automation or the integration starter, integration advanced. We have various packages, right? So this comes as part of those packages, and this is the landing page of automation app. First what I do is I go inside integrations, and these are all the different connectors that we have at the moment. So I'll click on view all. We have 82 connectors at the moment. So when this went GA, it was around 40 plus. As the product is maturing, more and more connectors you get to see here. So today we would be using Jira connector. So these are all the different 82 connectors that we have in place. So let's find for Jira. I'll just type it here and click on create connection. So this is where we will have to set up the connectivity details, just like in our API-led integration that we do it in our studio, right? You give all the connector credentials. Similarly, just give a connection name, description, and Jira specifically right now takes basic authentication where you will have to pass username, password, and URL. Username key and not the actual Jira password, and then the URL. So you have this small eye icon that you see here, right? Just hover over it and you'll see what is the expected value that each of these fields are expecting. So once you give all these connections and click on create, you will have a new connection set up. Since I already have one, I'll just open it. Once you have the connection set up, you would be seeing all your connections under this tab where it says all connection. Let me just open the one that I have here. And it says which are all the different flows which are using my connection. So all of them comes up here. And in case I want to test if my connection is active, there is an option to test it. So just click on test and it says the connection test was completed with a green check mark. So the connection is active. You also see the active status here. In case you need to edit it, if the key has expired, you can go and edit your password, which is nothing but the Jira key, or you need to delete it, just go ahead and use the delete button. This is on the connection. Now let's go to the flow. So in our regular developments that we do, we either make use of Studio, where you would be doing all the build activities, right? So to make use of Mulesoft for flow, which is nothing but you're writing your Mulesoft integration inside the Salesforce flow builder. So within the automation app itself, just click on flow and then new. It takes us to the flow builder. And these are all the different types of flow that we can create. So if you're aware of the Salesforce flow, these are the common flow types that appear. One of the specific type that is provided here for MuleSoft for flow is external system change trigger. I'll come back to this and explain what the external system change trigger flow is, but you can also use these standard types and build your flow. So I'll go back, I'll open my existing flow which I've built. Okay. So this particular flow that you see here, it's a record trigger flow. And what I'm trying to do here is every time a case is created, every time a case is created on Salesforce Service Cloud, this flow is automatically triggered and it creates a Jira ticket on Jira and then updates back the Jira ID, the newly created Jira ID, back onto my case. So let's see each action one by one. The first one is I have chosen a record is created. Based on your requirement, you can choose these options. Right now, I just have every time a case. I've given the object as case. A case is newly created and has a case type of engineering. So whenever the case is directed to the engineering team, this flow has to trigger, is the meaning. Okay, these are the conditions that I've given here. And then you have to click on this plus button and action. You have two options here, other and connectors. So go to connector, search for Jira. I showed you earlier that there were a list of connectors that we had, right? Around 82 connectors. So you will see all of them coming here under connector. Since I'm making use of Jira, I'll just type for Jira. Let me do it other way. Okay. So Jira comes here, but within Jira, I have these are the different operations that are available. So based on what I have to perform, I'll be choosing it. Since I said I would be creating a ticket in Jira, I will choose the option called as create issue. So once I click it, the action that you see below this one comes up. I'll just delete it now. So once this comes up, give a name to it, and then I selected my connection that I created in the first place. If you have not created that, you can also create it from the screen. It says new connection. Just click on the plus button, add in the details. It would add a new connection to it. And from the drop down, you can select the connection that you want, and then I would be giving under which project the ticket is to be created and what type of issue is created. So if you are familiar with Jira, there are different types of issues that we can create, like epic, bug, all of that, right? So right now I'm only creating a bug, so I've chosen bug. And then this is the important part. I was talking about the data weave transformations that we do, right? Similarly, we can perform the transformations within this operation that we have here and map it. I'll click on this view. So on the left hand side, the source data, what we see here, this is the Salesforce Service Cloud fields, and the target data is nothing but the Jira fields. So once you give your connection details, automatically it will pull in all the fields that are available for mapping from Jira. So that is why you see these target data coming here. And then you just have to map it. What are the details that you want to send to Jira? Just map them. It's like you just have to click on case number and click on the field that you want to map into. So here I created a custom field on Jira, and I'm mapping my case number onto the custom field created in Jira. And then description to the description in Jira, subject on case to the summary of Jira. These are the only three fields that I'm mapping at the moment and syncing these three fields onto Jira from my case. Yeah, so we just have to make sure that we are passing the right input details and the body details. Body is nothing but the mapping that we are performing. And once this particular action is complete, I am calling update record to update my Jira ID, the newly created Jira ID from my previous action back to my case. So I'm just giving the details like sync back the Jira ID that was newly created back onto the case field called as Jira ID, and I'm ending the flow. So the integration that comes into picture here is this small bit. This action that you see here is the bit which is actually taking and doing all the syncing of data from one system to the other system. I'll run this and show you how this works, but let me go back and show you another flow. So I was talking about this external system change trigger flow, right? So external system change trigger flow, what it does is it would be monitoring or polling an external system. In our case, it would be polling Jira. And whenever there is a change in Jira, it pulls the change and does rest of the processing. So it's just like a poll component, or a, yeah, kind of a poll component that we have. So whenever you choose the flow type as external system change, this comes up. You just have to select a connection. So since I've given a Jira connection here, it's the same connection. It's one single connection that I'm using in both the flows. So by this, it knows that it is trying to poll my Jira, and we give the polling frequency. There are various polling frequencies available like 1, 2, 5, 10. So I've just given 1 minute at the moment. What this means is every 1 minute it polls Jira, any changes it pulls in. Okay. And in case there are any changes and that came into my flow, then I go back. Say, for example, there are 10 Jira tickets available, but not all 10 of them were created by my service agent. Probably only two were created. So, what I do is, if it's on the same board, if it's on the same board, I would be pulling in my Jira ticket details. You can add in extra conditions saying that only if it's created by what do you say? Created by service agent, then pull in the details. Right now, since it's a pretty simple flow that I've created, I just have one condition in place. In get records, what I try to do is I check if a case exists for my changed Jira ticket. If it exists, then it goes and updates the case with the changed detail of my Jira ticket. If there has been no change, then no action is taken. Okay, so that's on the external system flow. Let me now trigger one scenario. So this is my Jira, and I have only uh, two bugs at the moment. I'm under cases. It's again under the automation app that I'm trying to create a case. I have a few samples. Let me just copy them. So I'm giving subject as user cannot submit the contact us form, and I'll put the details. I've added subject description. I'll keep rest of the details as it is. And I'm giving the type as engineering because as we saw in our flow, only when the case is directed to the engineering team, a new Jira ticket is created. So the type I've set it to engineering. And here we see the Jira ID, Jira status fields are empty. I'll save it. So this case was created 1463. Let me uh, okay, it has come up here 1463. I'll just change this to in prog. Okay, I'll do that later. If I open this, you see the subject is as it is that we created in my case. So the subject description has appeared, and also my Salesforce case ID, which was 1463. The same case ID is synced back here. Now, say I change my status from new to in progress. Before that, let's refresh. So the Jira ID has also synced. It says KAN62. Sorry. Yeah, KN62. It has come up here, and the Jira status is to do. So now I change it to in progress. So we have made an update on an existing uh, case which is present in Service Cloud. So I've changed it to in progress. So ideally, this has to reflect back in my case. So let's give it a minute because it polls every minute, right? So it takes 1 minute of time to again run and update. In the meantime, let me show you how do you check logs. So I'll come back to my flows here. And I click on case record updation. So here under flow version occurrence, these are all the different occurrences when my flow was triggered. If I click on one of them, one second. Yeah, it shows any errors or entries that has happened. The errors and entries come up here. Another way to check it is one is you click on this, you see errors and entries here. Another way is just click on the name, and under performance you would see the error reason, when was the error last occurred, and the number of times terror occurred for this particular transaction. So all the details you would be able to assess under this. Now let's see if the syncing is done already. So yeah, so it was to do earlier, now it has changed to in progress. Similarly, any comments or anything that you want to sync between Jira and the Service Cloud cases, you can do it this way. So another point that I wanted to show is with agents. Now you saw that it was a manual process that I created a case, correct? Where I had to come to the screen, click on create case, and fill in all the details. But if I have my details ready and my agent ready, I'm just showing it to you in the agent builder. I'll not explain the process of building an agent because I'm sure all of you are pro by now. I'll just run it. I just copied my subject and description. So I've put in my subject. It says main dashboard loads very slow along with the description. So ideally, if you see, it also needs priority um, and the type to which team we should be assigning to. So let's wait. So it's asking me for the priority. I'll say hi. Okay, my case is created. It is 1464. Let's go. Why is nothing coming up? Okay, yeah. Now 1464 is created and it has synced the Jira ID. Jira status would come back again once my external trigger flow is triggered. So the Jira ID is KN63. Let me go check here. Yeah, KN632 is created and it has all my details correctly reflecting. I'll change it to in progress and let's wait for a minute. I'll close. Yeah, let's wait for a minute and this should reflect. Let's check the logs in the meantime to see if everything is working as expected. Okay, it has run. Let's check. Yeah, so this has changed. So this is how we make use of Mulesoft for flows, and in addition with the agents, you can call it this way. So that's on the demo part. Let me come back to the slides. All right. So some of the key business value that I could think of when I was working on this particular MuleSoft for Flow integration is that the time of delivery. So it's pretty simple. Just with few clicks, plug in and go. You can build your integration, and it's very easy to develop and start using. And the next point is enhanced agility and scalability. Our business needs keeps on changing, right? It's kind of volatile, so it keeps updating and changing. And with MuleSoft for Flow, it's very easy to implement, make any changes that is needed, and promote it to the productions. Future proof for the business is as we saw, even the agents could easily make call to our Mulesoft flow. There was a very simple process of just connecting our agents and Mulesoft flow together. Similarly, any AI tools or any new future advancements that come in, it would be easy and easy to adopt, I would say. And other use cases that we can implement using MuleSoft for Flow, but it is not just limited. I've just put in two here, but not just limited to the ones that we have here. Is you can create an order in NetSuite from Sales Cloud and also create agent actions to empower other agents, just like the A2A calls that we have. Yeah, so that's what I had for today. But I would definitely like to hear your suggestions or your ideas on how you would like to use MuleSoft for Flow.
Thanks, Shruti, for covering such a great topic. I think we have few questions. Can you look into that?
Yeah, I'll just stop sharing my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a feature available for free trial? No, it's not available for free trial at the moment. So as I said, it comes as part of automation package or the different packages that we have. So it's not freely available. How does it handle bulk operation or Salesforce common limit to ensure reliable data processing? Okay. Talking about bulk process, right? If I have to just talk with respect to sales, uh, the use case that we did just now. So, say if it is a case creation, it would usually come one on one, right? A bulk is something that I haven't tried honestly, just like how you have the batch processing in the API led integrations. I haven't tried that, but I can try that and get back to you on that. How does the errors come in file format? It is not a file format, but it tells you what the error exactly is, like what went wrong. The error message would get printed in those tabular format that you see. There were three columns, right? So it would come in the tabular format. Platforms, okay, which are not covered. Do we have any formal process? So, Arnab, I assume you're asking for any out of box connector, meaning apart from the 82 connectors that we have right now. So, what I understand is you can leverage and integrate to those 82 systems right now. Anything extra, probably we'll have to wait. You would definitely be seeing more connectors adding because when I started, it was around 40 plus connectors, and now we have 40 more added. So, definitely, you would be seeing more connectors coming in, but not really any out of box connectors that you can create or start using apart from the ones readily available, where the solution can be a great fit or in which so can we use flow integrations. Okay, if you're talking specifically about the use case that we discussed today, then as I said, if you have a support team, if your product, if you have built an integration which is used by larger audience, and you have a production support team who identifies an issue and they want to raise that issue back to us, to us in the sense, if I'm a developer, I've developed something and I'm into development, I have a separate production support team who's handling all my APIs which is in production, and any issue occurs and they identify it as an actual bug in the code, then they can use this process where I have my Salesforce service cloud in place. They can raise a case and that directly comes into my Jira board. I can pick it up. I do all my code. I push the code. Everything is done, and I inform the team back. Inform the team back in the sense I update my Jira ticket so that gets reflected throughout all the other systems. And yeah, that's the one.